Yeah, I believe he's trained super. Had a faultless preparation this spring, and obviously was very good in Dubai. Came back, had a bit of a break, and she hasn't missed a beat really. So delighted with her work this morning. She's all systems go for the Tuesday Royal Ascot week today. Viamarie heads to Royal Ascot. She'll have an entry in the Queen Mary and the Albany Stakes. Impressive winner on debut. Very immature horse at the time and really only just ready to start. And the form of the race hasn't worked out very well, but I was really taken by her attitude that day. She got a typical Memas, head on the floor, quite similar to Believing. Yeah, her work has been progressive and it's getting better each week, and we just gave her the time to grow and change, and I hope she's a lively outsider. Yeah, Soprano, she was a good winner at Kempton in the Snowdrop Stakes back in the early spring, and it's been the plan for a long time to come to the Duke of Cambridge. Filly who was placed in an Albany and a winner of the Sandringham handicap last year. She went on to win a Group 3 in Deauville and be Group 1 placed on 2 occasions. So look, it's the obvious race for her for this sort of first part of the season, and we're really looking forward to seeing her back. I think the programme does lend itself well to the second half of the year, and that's usually when she's sort of seen to best effect. So excited to have a fancied runner for Highclere in one of the big races at Royal Ascot. Hey True Blue heads to the Norfolk Stakes, all being well. Horse who ran very well on debut, Craven Breeze Up purchase for First Light Racing, who I'm pretty sure it's their first horse running at Royal Ascot, might be their first horse in England, and big Australian syndicate who they'll be over in their masses, and I hope he can run a big race for them. We fancied him to run well on debut, probably thought he'd run as well as he did, and what looked like quite a strong race. He's being packaged up and off to Royal Ascot, so he should provide a great day out for them, and look, his work's been progressive. He worked nicely this morning, and no reason why not to go. Dante's Lad was a good winner at York a couple of weeks ago. Wootton Bassett horse out of a mare called Bewitched, who's produced a couple of decent 1.5 mile horses. Probably only just starting to work his trip out, and he'll have an entry in the Golden Gates and the King George V handicap. He's probably going to go to the London sale at Kensington Palace before on the Monday, and I think he's a horse who has plenty left in the tank. He's progressive, he hit the line strong. Tom Marquand actually commented that it probably wasn't run to suit. They didn't go a strong enough gallop, so be no surprise to see him improve again. And I think he's a horse who goes to Ascot with a progressive profile, and one who, if we get fast ground, I think he could be competitive. Burhan heads to either the Britannia or the Golden Gates at Royal Ascot. He was a good winner at Chester over 7.5 furlongs at the May meeting. He's probably been running at tracks where it doesn't suit him ideally. He's a winner at Beverley. He also won a novice at Yarmouth. And then at Chester, I think he's a horse who, when we do allow him to use his stride properly, we'll see him in a better light. Great mind for the job. He's done well physically from 2 to 3, and he goes there off a nice mark. He's rated 95 now. There were plans to try and run him in a stakes race at the back end of last year, and look, it's an incredibly difficult handicap, both of them, the Golden Gates and the Britannia, but it's been the plan for some time to work back from either one of these races, and his preparation has been faultless so far. Oliver Show will have 2 entries at Royal Ascot. Preference at the moment would be for the Buckingham Palace. Strong travelling horse who looked all but the winner until the final sort of 10 yards in the Lincoln. Had a successful campaign in Bahrain through the winter, and he's done very well. We've given him a wind operation in the last few months, and this has been the plan ever since the Lincoln. So thrilled with how he's trained. He's a much stronger individual than he was last year. He's in the grand scheme of things, he's still a young horse, and for these progressive handicappers, you need to have a bit in hand. He's off a career high mark, so life will be harder for him, but he comes here in as good a form as I could possibly have him. Spangled have a couple of entries. He'll be entered in the Buckingham Palace. He also has an entry in the Awaken. Absolute legend, really. He's a, I think, 7-8 time winner now. And he ran very well. He ran in both races 2 years ago at Royal Ascot as a 4-year-old, and I imagine it will just be the one this time, but look, he's had a winter in Bahrain, came back, he's had a wind operation ahead of Ascot, and we just hope it might find a little bit extra with him. He's a little bit on his mark at the moment. But yeah, he's going to pop up at some point, and be amazing if it was on the big day. So Awaken heads to the Albany Stakes at Royal Ascot. I was delighted with her on debut. She wasn't able to win on debut, but she was quite underprepared for that. It was very much just to get her on the track and see how she went. And I was really encouraged. She showed a great attitude. She hit the line strong, and Billy kind of, if he'd been able to get there later, I think he'd have arguably had a real good challenge to try and beat the winner. The winner's highly thought of. Beautiful filly by Starman, and obviously it's only a small sample size, but 2 horses have come out and won since, and I think both go to the race. So look, she's a progressive filly and one who I think can run a very live race in the Albany. Bountiful heads to the Sandringham. A filly who steps up to the mile for the first time, very similar to what Soprano did last year. She's out of a Mayhill winner, so therefore a filly who won over a mile at 2. Zoustar typically is an influence to speed, but he does get horses that stay the mile. So her work has been pretty progressive this spring into the summer. Got her black type at Lingfield in the Spring Cup, and yeah, she comes here in fantastic form. I couldn't be much happier with her, and she's had a pretty faultless prep. So roll on the Sandringham. Englemere heads to the Palace of Holyrood House, handicap 5 furlongs. Her work has been very good all spring. She missed the beat a little bit at Bath, and then ran very well much better in the Chelmer Stakes, having stepped slowly on the all-weather, where the track was lending itself well to horses on the pace. She might have some headgear for the first time. She leads a lot of Believing's work, so she's got plenty of pace, and I think if we can get her closer to the speed in the race, then she can be a lively each-way chance. She's obviously a filly taking on the boys, so it's not ideal, but fillies have got quite a good record in the race without winning it yet.